Hey boys, welcome back to some more Nrl Supercoach. It's going to be the round 22 review, and as you can see, scored a tick over 1200, 1219, and I thought this was an absolute disastrous week. Once again, it felt like just one of the worst weeks imaginable. I was certain I was going to see some red arrows, potentially big red arrows, but surprisingly, still some green arrows. Moved up 64 spots into 890. I was shocked when I came on here and saw that. It just felt like just a terrible, terrible round. But I guess looking back on it, like, we had some good scorers, and it was just a low scoring, like, I guess it was still a high scoring round, but like the vast majority of the games were absolute putrid weather with low scores. There's just a couple of high scoring games, obviously, but it mainly came down to Reece Walsh, right? Because you look on like Twitter and stuff, and it felt like everybody owned Reece Walsh, everybody vice captained Reece Walsh, which is not the case. Obviously, Walsh was pretty heavily poddish still, so a big difference if you had Reece Walsh compared to like a Drinkwater, that's like a 100-point swing. So yeah, at the time it felt like we were going to be way behind because of not owning Walsh, but yeah, he was definitely a pod. So it's one of those ones where like the rest of the scores were pretty shocking, but there were good scores littered throughout. So let us go through. Blake Brayley, I still feel very happy that I picked Brayley up. He was very good. He was very good once again. 81 points. I'm very happy. I ended up just pulling the trigger and bringing him in. Also, it worked out well because obviously, I think I could have gone like a Hudson Young at the time. Hudson Young had an absolute shocker this game, as quite a few sort of popular picks did. Terrell May, 58 points. You know, it's fine. In the conditions, you'll take a 58 point. Like, just those type of conditions, just way less tackle busting, way less offloading. So 58 points is fine. Lindsay Smith, my boy Lindsay Smith. I gotta be honest, I wasn't happy that Payne Haas was ruled out, but there was a part of me that was like, you know what? I get to play Lindsay Smith now, and he's turned a corner. This has been a roller coaster with Lindsay Smith. Obviously, I missed his big score last week, but when I brought him in, he had a couple of like real dud games, or like honestly, they weren't even that. There was one real dud game of 33, which was just a bit of an anomaly. I don't know what happened. He just didn't run the footy at all. I don't know. But the rest of them were like fine, but it felt a bit underwhelming. All of a sudden, his scoring has gone through the roof, so it feels good. Got to play Lindsay Smith for a good 66. The back row, Eli Katoa, 77. You'll take Angus Crichton, a 70. Take that as well. Viliami Kikau, a 30. You don't love to see it. I was... Again, the conditions were not beneficial for a Kikau. Just, his footwork in those conditions, he is a missed tackler in general, and he does love to shoot out. There was a lot of times where he slipped, missed tackles, errors. Yeah, he had a shocker. Obviously, it was a good matchup coming in, but the weather sort of fucked that a little bit. Who do the Dogs take on this week? The Warriors. So that's a pretty good matchup still for Kikau. I don't mind it. Connor Watson, we did not play. Honestly, with the benching, I was content to sit Connor Watson. He obviously came out and was good. So yeah, a bit annoying that he scored 63, but it's fine. It's fine. You'll see, I did end up making a second trade during the weekend. We'll see that in a second, which it could have worked out really well. It ended up being like fine, but you'll see it in a second. The halves were actually very good. So Nathan Cleary is captain, 106. I gotta be honest, I don't know how he updated. Like, at the end of the game, I think he finished on about 90 96, I want to say, somewhere around that. And even that, it felt a little bit overs. It felt like, did he really score 90 odd points? But he's just the king of updates. Like I thought he might downdate a little bit, but no, he updated to 106. So you'll take that as a captain. Very good. Nico Hines 77, and then our boy Jaden Campbell 112. He's been elite, and I mean, I guess at the end of the day, Campbell also, he's a big one because he's also like not that, like he is popular, but he's not that heavily owned. Like a lot of people own like a Munster. Who else? I don't know, but he's not insanely highly owned, Campbell. And also, some people might have not played him against Penrith, which, I mean, he's my number 158, so I'm happy to play him at all times, and he is matchup proof. But yeah, he's been on fire. And then Liking King Tongia, 62 points. Obviously, I didn't play King Tongia, but you'll take it. And then the centre wing. So, as you can see, some poor scores. Herbie, oh boy, it feels so long since last Thursday. I sort of forgot about this. Herbie Farnworth, my God, as vice captain. Oh, wow. 69 points. And this could have been, what, 80 points? Because the amount of comments on Herbie Farnworth being like, oh, he should have passed it to Hemmer. Are you people fucking brain dead? He was fucking drawing in the fullback. He was going to pass it to the Hemmer. He was drawing in the fullback. I was losing my mind at the amount of comments that were calling him a ball hog and that he should have passed it to the Hemmer. He was going to fucking pass it. You fucking idiots. But he would have passed it and he would have got the try assist. So he would have been on like 80 points after 18 minutes, bro. He was unstoppable. Like that was potentially like it doesn't usually happen where it just continues, but oh my word, he was unstoppable, bro. He was unstoppable. I only dare to dream what his score could have been if he played the game. But and also devastating because I love Herbie. He's genuinely like probably my favorite player in the game. So the fact that he's done a pretty serious Hemi is diabolical. I'm very sad about that. I was just wondering how many games are left. Because it's interesting. I probably will trade him out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so there's 5. I think they did say he's gone for 6 weeks. I think it might have been 4 to 6. It'll be interesting if he's like back for the final round or something. Because if you got trades left, he would be like an insanely good trade in if you have a luxury trade to bring him back in for like the final round. But yeah, it's obviously a trade out for our boy Herbie. I mean, he's 840k, so anybody you go to, you're going to free up cash. So it's bad, but it is what it is. Zach Lomax, 41 points. Just not the night. Ruben Garrick, 23. Fucking diabolical. he fucking bombed a try. Let's be real. How the hell he did not score, like, in the wet weather to get round, like, what the fuck? How did he get stopped by Tedesco? Obviously, it was a good tackle by Tedesco, but at the same point, Garrick, what are you doing? Like, how did you not score that? That was honestly embarrassing that he didn't score that try. But yeah, 23 points. I'm pretty sure, he was our lowest scorer. Quite a few dud scores, but he topped the duds. And then Isaac Tungo. So Tungo was my trade-in from Billy Smith. Now, I don't even want to fucking think about Billy Smith. He did end up scoring like 60. The thing about it, I was never going to play Billy Smith. I didn't want to play fucking 5 Roosters, right? I was never going to play Billy Smith, and I was looking at the rest of the season. I was like, I'm never going to play Billy Smith again for the year. The conditions also tipped me for this one. Penrith against the Titans, it was like one of the only genuine great condition games. The rest of the games after that point were fucking putrid. I wanted a piece of the Panthers' attack. Obviously, I already have Cleary and Edwards, but I was like, I wanted an outside back, and it was just like, Tungo was at a really good price. I think, what did I get him for? Yeah, he was like $4.70 or whatever he was. Really good price. Obviously, Billy Smith trade to him. Also, the fact that Herbie got injured, I was sort of like, you know what, bringing in Tungo as well now, it does give us another good play on good matchups. Like, I think Tungo is a guy that has those big scores in him. Like, he does have the odd game where he goes massive. He also fucking loves a sin bin. He loves a fucking sin bin, bro. I couldn't believe it. He is notorious for a fucking sin bin. So he got sin bin in this one, 60 points, couple of line breaks. It could have been a big score, and I feel pretty good about the trade. Honestly, I think it was a pretty decent little punt. Obviously, it didn't really help us because if I didn't bring in Tungo, I would have played Watson. I would have played Watson. I wouldn't have played Billy Smith. I would have just played Watson. Watson scored 63. Tungo scored 60. So really, I did lose 3 points. But, you know, it is what it is. With the conditions against the Titans, I still think it was a good. I still think it was a pretty good little punt, but didn't quite work out in our favor. But what can you do? Jacob Kiraz, 66 points. Obviously scored a try to bail his score out a little bit. I mean, I don't know. It's hard to again, like, people are gonna say like, oh yeah, Kiraz at fullback's not good for Supercoach. No, when it's fucking conditions like that. That's not good for Supercoach scoring. Like, that's the thing that's not good for Supercoach scoring. I still think Kiraz at fullback can really go crazy at fullback. Obviously, the Tigers belted the Doggies as well. That was great to see. They were up for it. The Doggies weren't really. So, yeah, a lot of factors. I still think Kiraz at fullback, I'm very excited going forward if he remains there. Nwangani Tawaze, obviously, there was so I guess the other sort of 50-50 before the game, I was still like, do I play Nwangani Tawaze or do I play Watson? Then Watson got benched, and I was like, I'll just play Nwangani Tawaze. He's got the upside. Honestly, I didn't really. I started watching the game a little bit into it, and then I saw the conditions, and I was like, oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. We are in for a shocker here. He got 42 points. Again, he updated a lot, so I will take the 42. In conditions like that, I still think there's some big scores coming for Nwangani Tawaze. I still think there's some big scores coming. Like, he can get 40 points without really getting any football or doing anything, so I think there's some big scores coming for him. So I'm happy to have him as a bit of a pod. Hopefully he can return the favor, and hopefully this weekend it's fucking dry. Like, a little bit off topic, but oh boy, like, back in the old days, but back in the day of, like, probably around like when shoulder charge, before that was banned, right? Like, wet weather footy was still pretty enjoyable in my opinion, because it was more aggressive, it was more through the middle, big hits, that sort of thing, right? But nowadays, wet weather footy like that is honestly just shit. Like, the games are fucking pretty putrid. Like, obviously there's still some aggression, there's still some decent shots, but it doesn't have that same aggression like the old wet weather footy used to have. So, yeah, piss off the wet weather. Seriously, I just want some dry football, bro. Karapani being dropped. Originally, I was like, that's fine. I'm happy for him to be dropped. Oh, it would have been nice if he wasn't fucking dropped with the conditions after that fucking the Broncos game. I would have definitely played at Karapani, and he probably would have scored a couple, but oh well, what can you do? And then our fullback, Scotty Drinkwater, he had a shocker, 34 points. Tedesco, shocker, 44. Man, Tedesco's 625. He's lost a lot of cash. He's lost a lot of cash, bro. He's been on the fucking decline pretty rapidly. I mean, anybody that sort of got rid of him as a pod move, you're laughing. But I mean, at this point, obviously, I'm not going to be selling Tedesco. He's got some pretty good games coming up. I don't know. I don't know what's... I mean, probably Sam Walker has been like a bit of a factor in this. I still think Walker... He does get glazed a lot, Sam Walker. I'm pretty fucking... I don't know. I'm pretty undecided about Walker as a player as a whole. Obviously, he's a good player, but... Yeah, he gets heavily glazed. I think he's very frustrating to watch, honestly. I think he's very frustrating to watch as a neutral fan. Like, he can pull off some magic, but fuck me dead. He overplays his hand constantly, and it can be very, very frustrating. On top of having Supercoach options that would benefit from just getting some early football rather than Sam Walker going for a fucking third tackle kick or something fucking stupid, but we'll see how they go. And then Dylan Edwards, 80 points, you'll take it to the bank. So yeah, what seemed to be like an absolutely nightmarish week turned out to be fine. So going forward, we got 5 trades left. Now, obviously, we probably will do 2 trades this week, although we don't have to, because again, you have to factor in, if you're going to trade to another gun, are you dropping a gun to play that gun that you bring in? So is it really worth the gamble of that 50-50? We'll see. We'll see what we're looking at. Herbie Farnworth obviously can get traded. We'll have a look. I mean, the guy that obviously rings out straight away is Dane Gagai. They do take on Penrith this week, so again, there is a temptation just to hold off on that trade because everybody's probably going to do it. And I mean, Gagai is pretty matchup proof just because of the work rate, the tackle busting and whatnot. But you know, it could be a low score. Roosters taking on the Dolphins, so I'm definitely happy to play Nwangani Tawaze. I'm happy to play Atungo. So yeah, I don't know. We could hold fire. But for Herbie, obviously can go. Cullen Matangi can still go, and I still would like to get in. It's probably Hudson Young. We'll have a look at other options, but Hudson Young I still think is the priority. The bye this week is the Tigers, so that's fine. We've only got Terrell May. Payne Haas hopefully will be back. If he's not, I don't know. If he's not, obviously we could trade Kalamatangi to a prop. I guess I don't know. We'll have a look at what we're gonna do there. The dummy halves are fine. Obviously, Sand and Smith we are going to nuff out to going at some point. So then we have the Watson going rotation. But yeah, 2 trades. So basically, we got 2 trades in the hopper to go, like Herbie to a gun and Kalamatangi to a gun. So then we'll have 3 trades left, which are basically 3 luxury trades at this point, right? Obviously, we probably don't... we probably aren't going to need to nuff out like a Karapani at this point. If we're going to... It'll be one or the other. We could nuff out Karapani, although we're probably just going to nuff out Sandin, because then we have the duel of Watson to swing with... going when Brayley's on his bye. So that means we don't have to use another nuff to go Karapani down. That'll free up enough cash to then have basically 2 trades to do stuff with, potentially for some big restings. It's not as many trades as I would have liked, but again, we might not be using our 2 trades this week. Again, we could still bank them. We could still bank the other 2 trades, like the Kalamatangi and the Farnworth trade, until there's potentially another injury or 2, potentially some restings in the last couple of rounds. We'll see. Let's have a look. How did the scores end up? So Walsh, he did downgrade a little bit. I think he was on like 140 odd at the end of the game, so he did lose a few points, which is good. Looking at the trade, Herbie tops the list. Zach Lomax, Dane Gagai, Jaden Campbell, Brimson, Kiraz, Timoko, Aaron Clark, Dylan Edwards, Fermor, Tuvashek. Quite a few different faces there. Brimson, he carved up. Katoni Staggs, his one big game of the year. I feel like he's had two big games now. Didn't he have a big game last week as well? No. He has had a couple. He's sort of Isaac Tungo, although Tungo's a little bit safer, I feel like. Yeah, Katoni just has some really low games, which is surprising. Like 80 minutes for 34, 28, and 38. It's not that many. Like, he's still been pretty solid, but he should be like a 40 plus every game. Like, he should be getting enough runs and tackle busts every game to get like 40, but he just doesn't. Timoko, big game. Marshall King did well at hooker. Dallin, Adam Dewey fucking killed it. Dean Mariner. I think Dean Mariner on bloody... Yeah, he was on, who's his face? Karapani's edge, which is annoying, but it is what it is. Mulatalo, who I was interested in a couple of weeks ago, but didn't end up going with. He's had a couple of big games on the trot. Sammy Walker. So a lot of, obviously a lot of big scores, but not very heavily owned guys, that's for sure. Fanil Blake scored a try, so he bumped up a bit. Paddy Carrigan, pretty popular pickup, 82. Casey McLean. Who were some of the heavily traded in guys? So Thomas Dearden, actually pretty heavily owned, 40 points with a sin bin. Hudson Young scored a 44, which I'm happy about. So, what's he? 650k. Yeah, he is juicy. Although no, like I said, at this point, I'm not even gonna look to bring in Hudson Young this week. I don't need to get him. It is a good matchup, but he's got Manly and then he's got a bye and then he plays Penrith. So, personally, I think I'm just going to wait till round 26 to bring Hudson Young in, unless something else happens. Who else is sort of popular? So, it's good to see Hosking back to like a 50. Ryan Pappenhausen was back, scored a 48, was fucking dreadful with the boot, that's for sure. Aaron Clark punched out a 75, pretty rock solid. Did he score a try in this one? I don't think he did. He played 63 minutes, so he got a bit of a bump from last week. I don't know why he played 51 the week before, but obviously Clark is still a really rock solid purchase. You could do worse. Like, it would be nice just to have a back rower that is just scoring really well. Honestly, like, if Payne Haas is out again this week, it would give me such a good excuse to go Aaron Clark. It would give me such a good excuse to pick up Aaron Clark, and I'd be happy to fucking do it. But we'll see. Who else? Who else is popular and scored decently? Obviously, Fermor, somewhat popular, 61. Cameron Munster, 72. Pretty much all in, like, base. He had a couple of... Oh, he might have had a couple of try-assists off, like, kicks, I think. Matt Burden. A bit of talk to bring in Burden, I feel like. 29 points, had a bit of a shocker. Preston fucking scored a try. Couldn't that have been Kickout? No, Kickout was too shit. Joe Tarpany, 75. Yeah, so the props did a little better. Thankfully, I did have my boy Lindsay Smith, who went pretty well. But yeah, overall, solid enough. I still feel pretty good. Still feel pretty good for the back end. Still, like, don't get me wrong, I wish I had more trades to play with, but still enough to do what I want and have a few up my sleeve. But we have to be a little careful. We have to start being a little careful at this point. Obviously, it's gonna be a pretty strong team this week, regardless. Obviously, the only player on the bye is Terrell May. Payne Haas probably should be back. Another week off. Obviously, it wasn't like a rest. He was sick or like a infection of some sort. But it was another week where he didn't have to like worry about his back / ankle. I don't know. He's been plagued a little bit, but yeah, hopefully he's back fresh and fit for a big game against the Storm this Thursday. But we'll see how it goes. And then from there it's fine. Honestly, it's fine. The fullbacks, I mean, the fullbacks at this point, like, people might look at like a Reece Walsh, but the fucking Broncos have an absolutely diabolical draw. So let's look at Gutherson. No. Pappenhausen. Nah. Not looking too flash hot. They do take on the Broncos twice, where the Storm do love to carve them up. So, but I can't go back to Pappy, obviously. KO Weeks, 44. Hemiso. Lehigh. Unfortunate for Lehigh owners. So yeah, Reece Walsh. He's almost 700k now, 134. But yeah, I mean, let's just look at this draw coming up. Melbourne, granted, there are a couple of really good games. The Dolphins at Suncorp, that does scare me as a non-Walsh owner, but it is what it is. Newcastle, Cowboys, and then Storm again. So, a couple of really tough ones. Tommy, I can't go him. I cannot go Tommy Trbojevic, but he probably goes back to fullback, I would imagine, this week. I'm not gonna. I mean, after this week against the Raiders, Tigers, Dolphins, Dragons, Warriors at Four Pines. It's a little juicy. I can't. I shouldn't even look at him. I can't. I just can't. I don't even know who would I trade. How's Drinkwater's draw coming up? Obviously, Eels pretty good. Newcastle, Tigers. When's their bye? Okay, round 27. Okay, so you definitely. I didn't actually think of that. But yeah, the Cowboys with a bye in round 27, you definitely want to have at least one trade for Drinky owners. Thankfully, I've only got Drinky for the Cowboys, so that's good. So round 27, that's really nice, actually. That's really nice because I like, barring a fucking catastrophe, I'll definitely have a trade for that round for Drinky. And you could do it early. And I mean, honestly, taking the ultimate pod back on Tommy for the final round against the Warriors of Four Pines, I don't hate it. Even like, you could go early in like round 25, 4 Pines against the Dolphins for the last couple of games. I don't hate that. I don't hate it to get ahead of the curve with Drinkwater. Because who was it again? Round 25, they take on the Tigers, which is, that's a good matchup. You might not want to do that, but round 26 for sure, you could trade him out round 26 to Tommy, but obviously that's a few weeks away. Other than that, we'll obviously have a look teamless, see if there's any doozies, and whatnot, but overall, I don't know. I don't hate the idea of just holding off. How much money I've got? 23k? No. I keep forgetting. I was like, can I go now Kolomatangi straight to Hudson Young? No, I don't want to do that. I don't need to do that this week because Hudson Young has a bye next week anyway, and then he takes on Penrith. I mean, you could still do it because, you know, if you got the depth, you don't have to worry about it regardless, and then you've got him for this week, which could be a big score. So you could still do it just to get ahead of it, get him in. Yeah, I still might think about that. You know what? Before I even worry about it, can we actually just afford to go him? I think no, we can't. Okay, we don't have to worry about it. He's 652, so not quite enough to go straight to Hutto, which is fine. Honestly, that's fine. It eases my mind a little bit there. But yeah, we'll wait till Teamless. We'll wait to see what's up. But yeah, hopefully you guys are enjoying the content. Make sure to like and comment. I'll see you guys in the next one.